Laika Studios is truly an underrated animation studio that even when I think I'm not going to enjoy one of their works, I hit myself in the face for even doubting them.
Why would you do that?
But if we're going to talk about underrated, I think Boxtrolls might be their most underrated movie.
It's beautiful!
You forget about Missing Link? No, you forget about Boxtrolls. Seriously, you can find theory videos, explained videos, video essays on every other Laika movie, including mine. But Boxtrolls? Nothing. Don't worry, I got you guys covered. But before I get into this, I just wanted to say, I know there's a book based on this movie. I haven't read it. So whatever points I make or don't make that are explained in the book, just know that going into this. Let's get started.
I'm back at it.
So this film takes place in the Victorian era 1800s in the town of Cheesebridge. Yes, Cheesebridge. Where evil little Boxtrolls have just kidnapped a kid in the night. At least that's the story being told by the Snatcher. Archibald Snatcher, voiced by Ben Kingsley, who doesn't look like a villain at all, recounts the story to the lord of this town, Lord Portly Rind, voiced by Jared Harris. And how does he feel about kids being kidnapped in the streets?
They're no doubt picking their teeth with his adorable baby bones by now.
Horrible tragedy. Let's deal with it in the morning.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Very nice. And he's not just the leader of the town, but he's also the leader of the White Hat Council, whose main priority really is discussing and enjoying all and everything cheese related. Literally nothing else matters. And the only reason they're afraid of the Boxtrolls is because the Snatcher says they might take their cheeses away from them.
My Gouda!
They'll stop at nothing.
So he hires Snatcher to deal with the Boxtroll problem, but on one condition, that he's allowed to become a member of the White Hat Council and is allowed to have Lord Portly's white hat.
A white hat? You? Absurd!
So we see the Snatcher rile up the town, putting fear in them, telling them that the mean old Boxtrolls will snatch up your kids in the night. When in reality, Boxtrolls are just kind, gentle creatures. Jesus!
Little spider monkey!
But seriously, the Boxtrolls are the protagonists of the movie. They're small, pacifist creatures that are clearly fans of Metal Gear Solid.
Pliskin, I saw someone wearing a cardboard box just now.
A box?
Sure, they sneak through the night and rummage through people's garbage, but that's only because they're inventors, using junk that other people throw away to their advantages. Because you know what they say.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Disposable? Phooey.
And that extends literally to the clothes they wear.
I don't want to fight someone like that.
Why not?
Because it looks so dumb. Anyone who's willing to be seen like that must be completely insane.
And I really want to talk about the designs of the Boxtrolls and how brilliant they are. Laika Studios managed to make very simple designs while also allowing us to be able to tell the different Boxtrolls apart from each other. And all I could think about as well is how marketable these guys are. Like when I look at these guys, all I could think of is Despicable Me and the Minions. But unlike the Minions, you can actually tell the Boxtrolls apart from one another. Like if you look at the individual designs of the Boxtrolls, you can glean some kind of character just from first glance, which again, I can't really say about the Minion designs. And the boxes are not just used to cover up the trolls, but they're also used for them to hide in, because like I said, they're pacifists. They wouldn't hurt a fly, including the baby in the beginning of the movie that the Snatcher says they kidnapped. But in reality, the Boxtrolls are actually raising the child as one of their own, taking care of him. And his name is Eggs, played by Brandon Stark himself, who I think might be one of the weaker voice actors in this movie. But I don't want to blame him too much. He's not used to showing human emotion.
Things we do for love.
See, because Eggs grew up with the Boxtrolls, he thinks he is one. It's the only family he's known.
You're not one of them. You're a boy.
No, I'm not. I'm a Boxtroll.
See, Boxtrolls seems like a simple story about Eggs trying to protect and save his friends and family, but there's also themes of hierarchy and classism, misconception and mob mentality. Also the refusal to change and pretending to be something you're not. And what I really love is the connections between our heroes and villains. Let's start with Lord Portly Rind first, and the White Hats, who are obviously supposed to represent a more over-the-top version of the rich. They live above the city, so above the people below don't matter. The only thing that matters is their love of cheese, which could represent money or just food in general, and how people in the upper class love to consume more exclusive and rare foods. So even though it's pretty silly how much these guys love cheese, and the film makes multiple jokes about it, how even they put funds towards consuming more cheese rather than children's hospitals or schools.
You have this school funding initiative to vote on. Been sitting here for months. Distinguished members of the Cheese Guild.
We were here to celebrate the successful fundraising for a new
Children's hospital. But my fellow white hats and I decided the money would be better spent on this. I present the Behemoth!
But this is another form of the upper class looking down on the lower class. Even the designs of the characters speaks to that as well. They're at the top, they're above everyone else, so that's why they wear top hats. And of course the white that they wear could represent perfection or cleanliness. And this upper class is what our villain, Snatcher, wants so desperately to be a part of. He wants to trade in his red hat for a white one, and he's willing to cross any line to do it. I love how the villains are all dressed in red, because you know, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty, or a little bloody. Snatcher is the one that starts this mob mentality versus the Boxtrolls, telling everyone in town how dangerous they are when in fact it's a lie.
Beware the bloodthirsty monsters. They'll fry your eyes.
Lies! Lies! You are the Prince of Lies!
He even creates his own song singing in the movie where the hook is literally "Kill the Boxtrolls." When you see the townspeople of Cheesebridge singing along to it. And he sings this song in his alternate persona, Madame Frou Frou. See, the Snatcher is so obsessed with getting closer to the upper class, he's even willing to pretend to be a woman to do so.
My nigga, that's a man.
Now, I'm not too sure if there's reports in history about men having to dress up as women to move up. There are obviously ones where women dress up as men and pretend to be men to move up, and we've seen it in the media, including animated movies like Mulan. So I thought that was very interesting seeing that here with our villain. How he's not just willing to kill innocent creatures to get to the top, but he's even willing to embarrass himself as well. And it's all pointless in the end because he's so willing to wear a white hat to eat the delicious cheese that he is in fact allergic to.
You sure about this, boss? You know what cheese can do to you?
Unless you are referring to how cheese brings men of respect and power together in brotherhood. No, I do not know what cheese does to me.
He is so allergic to the point he has such a bad reaction to it, where he transforms basically into a Resident Evil monster. And his allergic reaction is so bad that it can actually kill him. Yeah. And again, the movie kind of makes a joke out of it. It shows how far some of us are willing to go to get to the top, even if it hurts our overall health. And finally, we get representation of the lower class in the Boxtrolls, who live so low that they live underground the city. Considered monsters by the rest of the city, they're actually the kindest and smartest creatures in the movie, represented by their love of creating things. They're inventors. And I love how we get a lot of browns and grays with the Boxtrolls, which brown could, represent them being dirty, but brown, the color, could also represent warmth and wholesomeness. And we see that with the Boxtrolls' home, and we see all their creations around them, and how actually colorful it is compared to the town above, and how they're a family, to the point where even when they sleep at night, they create one big box, so one big bed that they all sleep around in. And then you have Eggs, our actual main character, who's kind of the outlier of the group. He was raised with the Boxtrolls, but he's human, and his father was an inventor as well, who was a part of the middle class. And halfway through the movie, he goes to the surface and pretends to be a part of the upper class.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Very good.
Even if I don't mean it.
What? Well, I never...
So he kind of has a little identity crisis going on, where he doesn't know what he wants to be. He just wants to protect his friends and family. And we see a little nurture versus nature throughout this movie, and how Eggs is different from the rest of the Boxtrolls, and how in the beginning of the movie, while he wants to fight and protect his friends right away, the Boxtrolls just want to run and hide.
Another villain off the street.
Wheels.
And he spends the entirety of the movie trying to convince his friends that they can't just run and hide forever. They have to fight to protect themselves. But that goes against the nature of the Boxtrolls. And Snatcher exploits that nature by kidnapping them and forcing the Boxtrolls to create something for him. A machine so powerful that it can kill every living Boxtroll.
Metal Gear.
I knew I could sneak in another Metal Gear Solid reference in there. Snatcher, a part of the middle class, so obsessed with being part of the upper class, uses and exploits the lower class to get what he wants. And seems kind of familiar.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
And at the end of the movie, after Eggs finally finds out who he truly is, he eventually convinces the Boxtrolls to change, to shed their boxes, who literally defines them. And I didn't even get into that earlier in the movie. All the Boxtrolls wear boxes that have pictures on the front of them that are literally their names in the movie. Fish has a box that has a fish on it. Eggs has a box that has eggs on it, and so on and so forth. And in the movie, they shed those boxes to defeat Snatcher. But in the end of the movie, they were willing to change for the good, to be better, to defeat Snatcher, who was unwilling to change his ways, and that led to his demise.
Don't do it. It won't change who you are.
Nope.
In the end, Boxtrolls is a really fun movie with a lot of really cool themes in it. And I feel like I might have enjoyed this movie just a little bit more than Coraline. I think Coraline is definitely darker and has a better villain in it with the other mother, but I think Boxtrolls was a little bit more enjoyable for me overall. And I might consider ranking all the Laika movies at the end of this, when I review all these movies. But let me know in the comments below, how do you guys rank this Laika film? Do you guys think Boxtrolls is underrated as well? Let me know. Also consider maybe liking the video once again, and subscribe for more content in the future. Not exactly sure what my next video would be, whether it be another Laika film or maybe something else. Stay tuned to find out. Once again, I've been Nate. This is Infinite Repeat. Stay up.